Hey polish freaks, welcome back to my channel. If you are new here, welcome. My name is Laurie. I love to review nail polish collections and discover new nail polish colors and show them to you and do comparisons for you so that you can see if you need to pick them up or not in comparison to other polishes you might have in your stash. So hopefully these videos are helpful. If they are, please press the like button. I don't ask that very often, but I think I'm gonna start asking for things once in a while just to remind you guys, because I think that helps my channel out a lot and I just really appreciate it, and I appreciate you all for being here. So today we're going to be talking about the new Olive and June Quick line for fall winter 2024. There are so many beautiful shades in here, some that are maybe not super original, and so the comparisons are going to be really helpful for you. This collection is available on their website. You can buy it as a whole set, I think for like $76, or you can buy each polish individually. You do have the option of getting a mani or pedi kit with any polish purchases, and I do have a discount code. It's OJ gopolished 20, and that will give you 20% off a mani or pedi system for first-time customers. Olive and June is a really nice line. It's a long-lasting nail polish line. They have lots of beautiful colors. As always, before we get into it, I'm going to talk about what I'm wearing. I have on my lips this MAC Trace Blase lipstick that I really love. I've worn it quite a bit, and it's just a really nice nude. My shirt I got recently from American Eagle. It's feeling a little hot today, especially in these lights, and it's 80 degrees outside, but it's so nice and cozy, and I cannot wait for it to get a little cooler. So Aerie, which is also part of American Eagle, I usually get a Henley from them, but they've kind of changed it a little bit, which I'm kind of bummed about, and I saw this one at American Eagle and wanted to try it out, and it's super soft. I can tell it's a little bit warmer, but it's a little bit longer and not as cropped as the ones they've been coming out with recently, and so I'm really loving it. I might, if it goes on sale, grab a couple more in different colors, but for right now I got this basic kind of brown. On my nails I'm wearing one of the polishes. I don't know if you can see it here, but I did add a little chrome top to it, and maybe I'll put in a close-up of it so you guys can see it. It turned out really pretty, not as bright pink as I wanted. I think I want to try it with something that's a little more brighter pink instead of like a purple tone pink, but I'm really liking it and I think it looks really cute with this brown. So that's a fun combo. Okay, so let's get into it. So a lot of these polishes in here are going to have that typical two-coat crilly that I think I'm going to start saying for Olive and June because it seemed to be pretty common as I was going through the polishes. Most of them had that two-coat crilly that can build up really well. There might be times where you need 3 coats with those polishes. I know some people don't like that, but I personally love crilly finishes. They're really glossy and nice, but yeah, you got to find what works for you. Let's get into all the polishes. There's 12. There's a mix of shimmers and sheers and quite a few creams, and so I think you guys are really gonna like this one. First up is Glossed, and I love that name, and it's a beautiful lilac pink. It's got an interesting formula, so it's in between a sheer and a crilly, so it's a little bit more opaque than a regular sheer, and it's still crilly, but it doesn't quite build up in 2 coats. I really feel like you're going to need 3 with this one. 2 is very close, though. You might be able to get away with it depending on how you apply it. But this is the one I'm wearing on my nails, and I love shades like this, and I think it's really fun to have that chrome powder on top of this one. The color's not super original. There are some others that I have that are pretty close, but I think what makes this one different is the formula's a little bit different. So let's look at the comparisons that I have. I compared it to Olive and June Cockatoo, and that's very similar, but it is quite an opaque color, but the color tone's pretty much the same. So if you like that one and you want something that's a little sheer gloss, is going to be a great one for you. And then Olive and June Strawberry Scone is a true sheer with more white in the base, and then Essie Gel Couture Rebel is similar, just a little more gray. So I wanted to show you that too. The sheers that are in there, they're all 3 coats that I used, so you can see the difference there. So Strawberry Scone is going to be quite a bit more sheer, and it has the same amount of coats on the nails, so that will have you see just how more opaque this one is, but it's not quite opaque as you would find Cockatoo to be. So that is the difference there on this one. Then we have Peep Toe, and it's a really interesting shade. It's a beautiful coral leaning orange, and I was excited about this one. I did discover when I applied it though that it's quite sheer. The sheer and the color don't quite do much for me, especially with my skin tone, so I didn't find it to be too exciting, but it's definitely unique. I don't really have anything like this, and one that I found to be just okay. It just wasn't too exciting. I think if I had darker skin or maybe lighter skin, I have medium tone skin, that it would look a little bit better. Torrential is this next one, and it's really pretty. This is one of those colors where you can't really tell exactly what color it is, so sometimes it's more gray, sometimes it's more blue. I would say it's a blue leaning gray. It has a little bit more gray in it, and I like the one that they came out with in their fall collection. I think it's Self-Portrait or something like that. That's quite a bit lighter than this one, but that kind of had the same feel to it. But this one's a little darker and moodier, and I really love it. I love these type of colors, especially for fall, and I think you guys are gonna like it. I would say this is the same as that first one that I talked about, that it's in between a sheer and a crelly, so I'm just gonna say it's sheerish. That's gonna be my word for that because I'm not quite sure how else to explain it. So it's not quite totally sheer, but it's not quite buildable in 2 coats. So close to 2 coats, but I think you're going to want to do 3 with this one. But I just think it's a beautiful shade. So let's see how it compares to others that I have in my collection. I compared it to Olive and June 100% Chance, and that one's more gray that you can see. So Torrential has a little bit more blue, and then Olive and June Favorite Beanie is not as gray, and then D&D Natural Gray, which is one I have discovered this year, which is gorgeous, and I love it. It's so kind of moody, and that has a little bit of green in it, so that one is a little bit different. That one's really cool because sometimes it looks gray or blue or green depending on the lighting that you're in. So I do like this one a lot, and I find it unique in my collection, so I definitely think I will be reaching for this one this fall, winter, and I think it's so fun. Then we have Bodysuit, and this is a really interesting teal shade. It's a little bit smoky, a little bit dusty, but yet it is still a little bit rich. And what I like about it is a little more blue leaning teal than some of those that have more green in them. So it is slightly different. And the formula is really good. It's a 2-coat crelly that I talked about earlier. It's going to be opaque in 2 coats. On that first coat, you're going to think, is this going to build up in 2 coats? And it really does. You might need 3 depending on how you apply it, but I found it to be pretty opaque in 2 coats. And this one is just really great for this time of year too. I just had a pedicure and put a teal color on my toes. I'm not quite sure about it. I've never had blue on my toes, and sometimes in the winter my toes can look a little cold and a little bluish. So I'm hoping it's okay, but I'm really loving teals right now. I just wanted something kind of blue, and so I think this one's really great. So let's look at the comparisons that I have. I compared it to Olive and June Into the Trees. I wanted to show you that it's kind of close to that, but Into the Trees leans more green. And then Drama at La Scala, that's actually the polish that I do have on my toes, and that's a touch more green as well that you'll see hopefully in this picture. And then Essie in Plain View is also more green. So it is a little bit different where it leans just a little bit more blue, and so I like it. So it has a little bit of blue brightness to it, so I think this one's really great. Cardigan is a shade that most people like to wear in the fall, and I say most people because sometimes when I post swatches of colors like this, like these, people think they're grandma shades, but I actually really love them, especially when they're a little bit richer and darker. I feel like they're a little bit edgier, and so I think this one's really fun. It's a really beautiful mauve shade, but it leans quite a bit purple. I think that sets it apart from other polishes that I have. It's got a beautiful 2-coat crelly formula as well. Now, there are a lot of variations of these kind of shades, and I think I'm going to get on Instagram and do a bunch of comparisons for these type of shades, or maybe I'll do a YouTube video on it because there's so many and they are slightly different. So let me know if that's something you're interested in. In fact, I think it would be really great to do the YouTube video, and then I'll just post some of the comparisons on Instagram after the video. I just love all these shades, and I just want to kind of discover which ones are my favorites. So you got like Rooting for You, which is a little bit more brown. Then you have Angora Cardi, which is more like red berry toned variation of this. And then you have Merino Cool, which leans even cooler toned purple than this one. And then you have what else? Why don't you guys name some down below that you're thinking of, like Clay Dreaming, and some that I'm going to compare this to here in a second. But make a list for me down below, include the ones that you love in the fall, and I think I want to put a video together and compare them all. So do that for me, that would be great. But let's look at the comparisons that I have for this one. These were the closest that I found in my stash. So the first one is I'm Feeling Sashy, and that's a little more purple gray. That one's kind of an older polish, but I really do love it. So it is a little bit different. I feel like it's a little bit softer. And then Clay Dreaming is a little bit more mauve, and that one's definitely more opaque. That is one of my favorites of these kind of shades. Such a great polish. And then Merino Cool, you can see that it is a little bit icier, has a little bit more cool toned purple, maybe even a little bit of blue. So that one's kind of fun too. So I actually really like this shade. You might think it's kind of like a grandma shade, but I'm actually getting kind of close to that age where I could be a grandma. So maybe that's cool. Maybe I can wear this. Next up is Leotard. This is a bright fuchsia pink and it has that lovely 2-coat Crelly formula. It's really rich and nice, and every time I apply any fuchsia pinks like this, I just love them. They're probably one of my favorite colors to wear any time of year, and it really made me want to put this on. In fact, when I did the comparison, I really wanted to put one of those on first and then maybe this, because I kind of forgot how much I love that polish. So let's look at that. I compared it to Swoon in the Lagoon, and that's the polish I'm talking about. The formula is just amazing on that. It's slightly more purple than this, but it is just amazing, and the formula just goes on so nicely. That is just a really great. And then Flower Easta is more of a purple pink, and then Olive and June Biggest Bow, which I found to be the closest out of all the Olive and June that I have, is more of a red pink. I pulled out Wild Orchid, and that one is more pink than this one, so that one's different too. So I didn't put it in the comparison. So it is kind of close to those in the same kind of color family, but I just love this one. I think it's so pretty. Not super unique, but super pretty. Next up is Mulberry, another must-have shade for this time of year. This is a wine shade. This one is a little bit dustier. It's still a little bit rich though, but it's not like your inky wine shade. It's a little softer. 2 coats for opacity for this one. Again, not super original, but lovely just the same. So let's see some comparisons. So I compared it to a Cabernet, and that one's more of a pink red base, and then SC is more of a red base, and then Bahama Mama is even more of a purple base. I'll have to say I picked out quite a few polishes to do comparisons, and these were the ones that I found to be quite close. I could be missing something, I don't know. I feel like this one is just a little bit more raisin leaning, but it's not quite dark as some of the other ones that I have are more raisin. So I really liked this one. There probably is something out there like this, but if you don't have a raisiny shade like this and you like the Olive and June line, I think this is a good one to pick up. Espressotini is this next one, and it's a beautiful brown. I'm really loving brown. In fact, I always love brown this time of year. You guys know that. This one's a little bit warm, but it is a little bit cool too, so I would say it's kind of a neutral brown, and it maybe just has a hint of purple, but not quite as much as one that I'm going to compare it to here in a minute. The formula is really great on this one. It's that 2-coat Crelly, and let's look at those comparisons. Odd Squad is the one that I'm talking about, and that one does have a little bit more purple in it. It's very close though, but it's not exactly the same. And then Brown to Earth is a little darker and cooler, and OPI, its Top Secret, is even darker. So I wanted to show you just where it kind of fit in on that tone scale. So this one is a little bit lighter, so it's kind of closer to Odd Squad, but not quite exactly the same. And I think this is a gorgeous fun brown. Midnight is a fun, dark, rich navy blue, but it has this nice glittery blue shimmer in it that really stands out, especially in the light. And I do think it's beautiful. I do think I will try to wear one of these shades this winter and fall because I like these blues, but I just never reach for them. It's that same 2-coat formula. It's a really nice formula, a little bit creamier, builds up nicely in 2 coats. And here are the polishes I have like this in my stash. So I compared it to HJ, and that one just has a subtle shimmer that you can't quite see. It's not quite as strong. You can see Midnight has that fun glitter in it that makes it just a little pretty and unique. And then OPI Chopsticks and Stones is a little more flashy, but it is kind of close. And then OPI Chills are multiplying. And I feel like the shimmer in this one is just a little more subtle, and I just love it. Maybe I'll pull that one out because I really do like that one a lot, and I don't think I've ever really worn it actually as a mani, so I think I'll maybe give that one a shot. This one is a little bit flashier than I think I like to wear. If you like these kind of shimmery polishes, you're gonna like this one. Is it super original? I don't know. There's quite a few polishes like this out there, but I do feel like the glitter, the fine glitter, is just really pretty sprinkled throughout the mani. Late Night is a shade that I think is so beautiful beautiful. It's got a really olive green base, but when you add a few coats, it darkens and deepens quite a bit, so you can't quite tell. So it's almost black, but not quite. I think you can tell that it's still green. This one has that same 2-coat Crelly formula, and I do love shades like this. I tend to like ones that are a little bit cooler, and there's one that I love. I'm sure you guys know which one I'm talking about, but nothing really beats it. And so I'll probably always love that one. But I will say in this comparison picture that I'm going to show you that I love all of these greens. They are just all stunning. So let's look at those. So I compared it to Midnight Snack, a newer one from OPI that is so beautiful, you guys. I love the color tone of this one. It's slightly cooler. It's really creamy and nice. So great. And then Late Night, you just get that rich glossiness from it. And then it's actually dark green from Olive and June. It's very, very close. I would say almost exact, but maybe a touch darker. So they're similar, not the same, but I'll let you decide if you think that. And then Essie Stylenomics, that's the one I'm talking about. It's just one of my all-time favorite Essies, and it is just gorgeous. It's a little bit cooler and it's maybe a little bit darker, but I just love it. It is the absolute best dark, almost black green. So good. But this one's really fun too. Next is Covet, and this is a polish that a lot of people like to wear in the fall too, just that really inky dark purple. We have some cult favorites that we like to wear, like Lincoln Park After Dark, and this kind of goes along with those. It has that purpley base. This one probably does lean a little more purple than wine, but it's really hard to tell that on the nail. On the nail it looks almost black. The formula is really great. It builds up in 2 coats. It's quite opaque, very, very glossy, while still being a little bit crelly. I didn't do any comparisons for this because really when these are on the nail you cannot tell the difference, but it's very close to like Lincoln Park After Dark, Vintage Voyage, and all those other ones that I like to wear. So this one is really pretty. I like the moodiness of these, and so this kind of goes along those polishes. I didn't waste my time doing a comparison for it because you're really not going to be able to see a huge difference on the nail, but everyone needs to wear a shade like this in the fall. Next up is Stargaze, and this one's really fun. It's got a black base and then it has all these multicolored glitters, I would say, and it also has, well, maybe when the light's not hitting them, the glitters just look silver. It's a polish you would wear to celebrate something. I always think of like the New Year's when I have polishes like this. And I like that the glitters pieces are pretty small. So this also has a 2-coat Crelly formula, and so it is quite buildable in 2 coats. So I did feel like the polish did cover up some of those glitter pieces, but I didn't mind that because I feel like it made them a little bit more scattered throughout and not so concentrated. So I really liked that about it. But let me show you it compared to some other ones that I have in my collection. I only have a few, and so I just have 2 comparisons for this one. So I compared it to Hot and Cold, and I actually really like that one, but compared to this one, I was surprised how much that base was really sheer and gray, and so I actually really like Stargaze better. And then OPI Cheers to Many Years is just a topper, and I didn't realize that until I put it on, so I'm just showing you this topper. But if you want that same kind of look, really, you can just take a black nail polish and add this topper and have the same kind of look. The glitter pieces are a little bigger and chunkier, just like Hot and Cold. So yeah, what I like about Stargaze is that the glitter is a little bit more fine, and I can see myself wanting to wear it a little bit more, but I think it will be perfect for the holidays. The favorites I picked might have something to do with my mood right now because it's not quite fall outside, and I'm still liking ones that are a little bit lighter and dustier, but here are the ones that I chose. And I also feel like some of the other ones weren't super original, and so I'm being really picky with my favorites for these, and these are them. I'm really liking the blues, like I always do in fall, and so I like Bodysuit, the tealish one, and then Torrential, which is the gray blue, and then Cardigan, which is one of those shades that we all like to wear, like Angora Cardi, that's pretty similar to that, and so that one's really fun. I would wear any of these, but I do feel like they're not like super original, but if you're a major Olive and June lover and you want all the polishes, some of these are unique in their line. Okay, that's it. Thanks so much for watching. I do have the OPI Wicked collection being sent my way, and I do have some of the Morgan Taylor Naturals polishes coming to me. They're going to send me 6. I'm going to try to purchase a few more just so I have that to be a little bit more complete. Let me know if you're interested in the OPI Wicked Infinite Shine line. I've had a few people ask me about that. I will purchase that if you guys want it. I kind of wish OPI would send it to me. but they don't. But let me know if I get enough interest in that, I will do a review. If I don't, I probably won't, just because I'll be doing the other one. But they are different polishes for the lines. Let me know down below. Thanks so much for watching. I won't take any more of your time, and we will see you next time. Bye guys.